Liss. The name of the program is The Way to Go. I invite you to join me each week at this time as we explore places to go and things to do. Today's show is a lot of nonsense. Not nonsense, but Nunsense, the great program, TV and live show, and it's coming, believe it or not, right here to the Helen Hayes Performing Arts Center in Nyack. And I'm delighted that the star of the show has come here from the middle of the show in her offstage clothes, and it's Dody Goodman, the Dody Goodman, the famous Dody Goodman of the Jack Parr Show and Mary Hartman. And Dody, I'm so glad to have you here and to talk to you about Nunsense, a great show.
Well, thank you, Norman.
And it's so much fun. I've seen it on stage several times. I've seen it on TV. Is it as much fun doing the show as it appears to be to the audience?
Yes, it's a great show. And I don't know how many, it's been running so long and there's so many companies of it. I was talking to Dan Goggin the other day, and he said, if you want to make money, the producers always say, get Nunsense.
Well, of course, it's been done so many times. The statistics are amazing. 5,000 productions, 26 languages. You've been on the road with the show. But,
yes.
Of course, you're playing the Mother Superior now.
This time on
That's a promotion for you, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You worked your way up?
No difference in the salary.
Tell us about the show, for those people who may not know, who may only be seeing it for the fourth or fifth time.
Well, should I give it all away?
No, not all of it.
Well, we're putting on a benefit, you know. I'm the Mother Superior, and I've planned this show to raise money to bury some of the nuns that have died from eating vichyssoise soup that our crazy cook has made. So that's why we're putting on this show, to bury one for the nuns.
And the ramifications of all this.
You see, I went out and I made a lot of money with a greeting card company, and then I went out and spent the money on a VCR. I spent too much money on the VCR, and I didn't allow enough to bury the last 4 nuns.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned the greeting card company being part of the show. That's how it all started, really, as far as Dan Goggin is concerned.
The greeting card,
It was a greeting card series called Nunsense, right?
And people said, why, this would make a funny show. And so
that goes back about 12 years, that said?
I really don't know how long
about 12 years
running.
ago, yeah.
If I did a tour on 87, then that's been some time ago.
Yeah. Now, you did the national tour. You did both the first company and the second one?
That's right.
And now there's a third one?
I did the Nunsense 2 in Florida. But I haven't been in the third company yet.
That's amazing. You've had an amazing career. Whenever I've watched you on television, and I was not familiar with the fact that you've done a serious thing. You're not always playing the ditzy characters, you put it. You've done All Wilderness, and
yes, I was nominated for a Drama Desk Award.
Yeah. But as I talk to you, I see that the Dody Goodman that I've seen on television is the real thing. I mean, Carol Channing, for example, off stage is a completely different person than Carol Channing on stage. But Dody Goodman is Dody Goodman.
Well, I don't know. I did a show with Carol Channing, and of course she seemed the same to me off stage as she was on. I know she had her serious moments, though.
Yeah, well, I've met her off stage, and I've seen her, and she's a Connecticut-based woman with a very big social life, and completely different than that broad character that she plays all the time. Is this ditzy character the thing that's been so successful for you in television?
Well, I don't know.
Why do you get cast? Why do you get booked?
Well, for talk shows, I was hired to get laughs, like on the Par Show, and I just come out of reviews where I was getting a lot of new faces, where I was getting a lot of laughs, and I think that's why they hired me, because they wanted me to get laughs, and I couldn't be an intellectual, I didn't think. So I decided to do the dumb character. I thought that was good, like, well, Lucy and Gracie and that type of comedy.
You found your niche.
And so I found my niche, and I'm trying to get out of it.
I was going to say that. Is that helpful to you, or is that a deterrent?
Well, no, it's been very helpful, because I've worked all the time, so I guess it has been. But I don't always do that.
Yes,
I do movies, and I have serious scenes in the movie, and I just did Fiddler on the Roof, but there again I did Yenta.
Which is kind of a humorous, but not quite. Lee Arthur did it in the original.
Right, I
have a friend who was in the original cast, so I know a lot of the inside of that. And she tells...
and I was in another show with B. Arthur. We did a review called Shoestring Review. And in that show, I guess it ran about 6 months. In that show was B. Arthur, Cheetah Rivera, Artie Johnson, me, and we're still going.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
That was in the 50s. That was before I got... And before B got on to her TV,
right.
And before Cheetah and Artie started doing TV.
TV is fame comes from TV, doesn't it? The theater,
yes.
To a certain extent, but the really great popularity, fame comes from people on TV.
I was on the Par Show every night for 9 months, and in that time, I became a star.
Yes, very definitely a star.
And I was asked to do all starring parts. At that time, I was asked to do Born Yesterday, and Bells Are Ringing, and all those parts. And like for Summer Stock, and well, the first Broadway show I did was called A Rainy Day in Newark, but that was a flop.
Well, everybody's got to have a few flops under their belt.
I know. But, I'm at the Helen Hayes Theater now. And that's so interesting, because I worked with Helen Hayes in a revival of her husband's play, Front Page. And she took a part in the show, because it was her husband who had written the show. But he had been gone a long time. And then I worked with her son, James MacArthur. I did Arsenic and Old Lace with him. And people said, well, what do you remember about Helen? And I said, well, she did a lot of needlepoint, a lot of needlepoint. And she did the mother of the girl in the cast. And I was saying, well, she could talk right up until the time she went on, and it didn't bother her at all.
I've talked to performers a lot about that, on whether when they go off stage or they go out of character. Some do, some don't.
And
well, of course, you don't have that problem, because you're always you, right?
Because, some actors don't like to be talked to before they go on. They're concentrating on their parts and
How do you
their
feel
line.
about that?
I like to be left alone. I really do. Like, what am I going to say here?
On the talk shows, however, is there much preparation for that?
Well, it wasn't on the Par Show. He never wanted to know what you were going to talk about. And I'm sure people threw him for a curve, but he always was able to come back with something clever. Always. He was never stymied.
But how much preparation did you do? And when you see today all the talk shows and you see people coming on and doing this repartee, is that preparation? Did you do preparation, or did you just...
We did not. I did no preparation at all. I tried to think about, what am I going to talk about tonight? But when you got out there, you could always think of something to talk about. But now they want to know everything you're going to talk about, down to the last if, but, or, and everything. And if you don't sort of keep on that track, they don't like that, because the writers, if you say you're going to talk about a certain subject, the writers will give the host of it something clever to answer you with.
Right, right. You worked with Merv Griffin a lot,
yes,
too, didn't you?
And he never wanted to know, but he had writers who would talk to you, and they'd find out what you were going to say, what subject you were going to talk about. Mm-hmm. But Parr never wanted to know.
Now, Mary Hartman, which you did for 3 years, that was straight acting part? I mean, that was scripted?
Yes, that was all scripted.
Is there much room for ad-libbing in, I know the theater, there isn't any, because you can't change a word unless the playwright says it. But a lot of the things in films, for example, are written as they go along. A lot of the directors are changing things as they go along.
Well, I've never been in a situation like that. Well, I guess I have too, where you wanted to add a little thing, so you would ask them if it was all right, and they'd think about it, and if they felt that it fitted into the situation, they would let you do it. But as a general rule, nobody ad-libs, I know, in Mary Hart, and people thought we ad-libbed there, but we didn't. We stuck to the script.
Which do you prefer?
Oh, well, I prefer sticking to the script, because I don't want to...
Less pressure on you?
It's less pressure, yes.
And now coming back to Nunsense, that's a great script.
Yes, but we're allowed to add things there.
Are you?
But in rehearsal. Only in rehearsal.
Because you don't deviate once the show is set. You don't, because it would throw everybody else off, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would throw them a curve, and it might make them forget what they're going to say. So you couldn't do that.
Some people tell me that when one of the members of the cast is off on vacation or ill, and the understudy comes in, that it changes things because the person responds differently. Is that... Did you
well,
find
I think so. I think it might change it a lot when an understudy goes on, or a different personality goes into it. I think
the timing is different.
The timing is different entirely, and usually they've been directed to do it like the original character.
Right. Right.
But somehow or other, it always sort of comes out different.
I want to ask you some more questions, but first I want to remind our viewers that we're talking today about Nunsense at the Helen Hayes Performing Arts Center in Nyack, and Dody Goodman, who is starring as Mother Superior, and it is my guest today. We're learning a lot about show business, we're learning a lot about television, and we're learning a lot about the real Dody Goodman. Nunsense, you started to tell the story, but there's a lot of singing and dancing, and a lot of humor in it, and a lot of surprises. Yeah. I think that theater needs surprises, and those shows that you see where you know or you can figure out what's going to happen is not interesting.
Not
but got to hit you over the head every once in a while and turn you around. I think that's what makes a great film, and that's what creates a great show. So there are a lot of surprises, and we certainly don't want to give them all away.
No. I worked with George Abbott. In fact, he gave me my first speaking part in Wonderful Town in a show called...
That's Mr. Abbott, of course.
Mr. George Abbott, with Rosalind Russell and Edie Adams. Well, I had the character of the former tenant, Violet. Violet had been in the apartment, and all kinds of men came looking for her.
All right.
And so I had two little scenes, one where I meet the girls, and another one where I come back and hand out my cards. So if anybody comes looking for me, here are my cards. But now that was my first speaking part on Broadway. and I was a dancer in the show.
Did you start as a dancer?
I was at the Metropolitan Opera in the ballet, and when Balanchine had it, and then I went into ballet theater, and I was there for a year, and then I started doing a lot of Broadway shows as a dancer. And I was just thinking the other day, when I was in Wonderful Town as a dancer, I made $100 a week. And now dancers in Broadway shows make close to $1,000 a week. And I thought,
Yeah,
but I seem to have just as much money as people do today.
Cornflakes cost 10 times as much.
Right.
So that's the problem with it. Your career, you started as a dancer, and then you started to go into speaking roles. Life is like that. It takes you on a course, and as you said earlier, this ditzy character developed, and you found that it worked for you.
Yes.
Typecasting is very difficult, isn't it, in the theater? You take a lot of the people who do TV, who do a series, then they can't do anything else. What's going to happen to the Seinfeld people, for example? Are they going to be able to find work afterwards?
I think so.
I mean, Carol O'Connor made a big change, and he's done different characters, remarkably different characters, but not everybody could do that.
I know. Well, Seinfeld wants to go back to stand-up comedy.
Yeah, well, I think stand-up comedy, counting his money, I think, is the funniest thing he can do, right?
Yeah.
Of course, he's always done stand-up, and he continues to do that.
Yes, and so that's nothing new for him.
Yeah.
The other people, is it Jason Alexander?
Yes. He's song and dance man.
Yes, and he had... I think he had a Tony before he even went into.
He sure did.
So I think that a lot of them will go back to working in shows.
But it's hard for me to see him in another role, even if he's wearing a hairpiece, that I don't think of him as George.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll be able to do that. I think he did the Jerome Robbins show where he was the MC, and that's what he won his award for. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to find that. By the way, I interviewed the real Kramer, on whom the character's based, and he does a tour in New York City of all the sites which are discussed, and quite an interesting guy. He was a stand-up comic himself, and he wanted to play himself, but they wouldn't cast him. They said he wasn't good enough to be Kramer, which he is, of course.
Which he is.
But television can do so much for you.
Yes.
It could, as we said, make you famous. It can make you rich. It can do so many different things for you. But also, it could destroy your future career, as so many people. They do one show, and that's the end of it. And well, of course, you haven't had that because you've been able to do so many different things.
Well, I never turned down a job. I take it. If it's a little money, I take it.
And you keep working that way.
That way.
It's important to keep working.
It is. It's. I think, if you're not acting, you can't call yourself an actor, okay? You're an actor.
Right.
And when you're not working, you lose confidence, I think, in yourself.
Yes. And does it matter to you what medium you're working in? Does it matter whether it's radio or television or theater or...
Doesn't matter at all.
No.
I like it all.
And you can adjust yourself to the film technique, the repetition of the scenes, or television, or live television. You can adjust yourself to all of those. So your versatility is very helpful to you.
So, and it doesn't matter how old you get, because they always need mothers or grandmothers or great-grandmothers or aunts or...
Someone said that the best thing to be is a character actor because you keep working. You never have to worry about outgrowing the roles.
No, you can just go on and on forever.
One of the things that I want to be absolutely sure to do is to give the telephone number that people should call to get more information. And that number is, of course, 914-358-6333. 358-6333. And we're going to put that up in the closing credits as well so that you'll be able to write that down if you haven't got a call there. Find out more information about the dates. The show is running May 1st to the end of the May 23rd, a nice long run. the original production company who were involved with it, from Dan Goggin, the musical director, the choreographer, the set designer, are all involved with this version of it, and it should be really great. And of course, with Dody Goodman on it, it's great. I just want to get back to Dody Goodman, the actress, not Dody Goodman, the ditzy. Getting into the parts, since you are the Dody Goodman that we all know and admire and love and laugh at, you have to cover all of that when you become Dody Goodman, the serious actress, don't you?
Well, in this, now I'm the Mother Superior, and I'm just ordering everybody around, you know, and making, because the idea was my show, and so I'm ordering everybody around and telling them what to do and getting them off stage and getting them on stage. So, but it's done in a comedic way.
But when you played Sister Anastasia, who was ditzy again, a little bit, she got hit on the head. That was completely different. And
yes, and but it's all comedy. But you can act within a certain character, you see. So even the Mother Superior that I do might seem a little ditzy, too, even though I'm supposed to be stern and ordering everybody around.
Where does the training come from? Acting school?
Well, I was in a show called High Button Shoes in Chicago, and I was there for about a year. And while I was there, I went out to Northwestern University, and I took some acting. But then I've done taken other acting.
But you're a natural, really. I mean, that's obvious just sitting here and talking to you, that you're so natural in what you do. There is a lot of craft in it, though, isn't it?
Yes, and as you go on, you learn more. You learn by doing. You know, you can take acting classes as forever. But you really learn by doing.
Yes, I had two actors on this program not too long ago. One is a young actor starting out. The other one's been in theater for 50 years. The young actor talked all about his technique and how he does it and how he plans and rehearses. The older actor said, I don't even think about those things. You know, I've done it so many times. I just do it. I just do it. Isn't that what you're saying, really?
Yes, you just do it. Like older actresses never went to acting school. They just learned by doing it. Doing it. They had opportunity to do it. Of course, now it's not that easy to get a job, so you really have to go to acting school and be in little productions in order to learn your craft, you know. But so that's what they call it. The older actors and actresses don't call it that, you know, technique. It's instilled in them. It's what's inside them. They're doing the same as the young actor, only it has a different name.
I would think that getting roles for you, people would say, you know what we need? We need a Dody Goodman type.
Well,
because you've established that,
right?
And then of course the next question is, why get a type? Let's get a real one.
Because I was just offered a new play that had been tried out, and so I'm going to do it this summer. And they said, the producer said, we think you're just right for that play. And I was wondering, in what way am I just right? And then I talked to the director. He says, oh, yes, we all thought of you right away, you know.
Yes.
So I have my summer all planned.
Oh, that's great. Where will that be?
Up on the Cape. You know, at one time, there were about 50 summer stock places. And now there are about 3 or 4 stock places. So I'll play up on the Cape, Ogunquit. They're the famous playhouses in Dennis and Westport. And they're the only 3 left, I think, because the regional theaters have taken over, I think. Plus, they have now, you know, at one time dinner theaters were so popular,
Yeah.
and now they've slackened off.
Except, of course, here in Westchester, where the Westchester Broadway Theater has been running forever. And they do wonderful, wonderful shows.
Well, there are a few of them that are still left, you see. They do wonderful productions and have good food.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's all part of it.
And but they build these big halls, you know.
Right.
And I think that people are attracted to that.
I do always want to get back to Nunsense. You know, we could talk forever about you and your experience in theater and everything goes into it. Is it inhibiting to play it in these very stern shoes? Of course, you're wearing nun's wimple, right?
Right.
And so, of course, you don't have to worry about your hair.
No, you don't have to worry about your hair. You don't have to worry about your figure or your feet. You have orthopedic shoes, and it's wonderful. After tramping around in high heels.
Yeah. Is it harder because? Well, I guess
it's more relaxed.
It is more relaxed.
You know, you don't have to hold your stomach in. You don't wear a girdle.
Some of the people in the cast have done the show before. I saw in some of the notes that one of them was actually in the TV version of it.
Yes, there's a girl, Terry White, who was in the TV version. And then I was in Maui with one of the girls. We did it in Maui. And then...
It's like old home week for you.
Yeah. And then a girl by the name of Linda Tucci. I was on tour with her, and then I went back into the New York company with her. So we're all friends.
That's great. It's great to do that. And it's really great for you to come here and spend some time and talk about Nunsense and talk about the real Dody Goodman.
Well,
so delighted that you've come here.
To
I thank you so much for coming here and really entertaining us. You know, this is the Miniature Jack Parr show. It's always done today. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you, Norman. Thank you.
We've been talking today about Nunsense at the Helen Hayes Performing Arts Center in Nyack, and my guest today is the fabulous Dody Goodman. Great show. Go see it. And I'm Norman Liss. The name of this program is The Way to Go, and until next week at this time, enjoy yourself.